now that we know that these cases are happening, you used to have what was called a 5-step program to protect the churches. And I think you've expanded that to a 10-step program. So why don't you go ahead and give us those 10 steps, and let's discuss those 10 steps that churches need to do in order to protect themselves.
Okay, and let me say, these are not difficult. Any church can do these. It requires a little bit of effort on your part, but nothing untoward. So let's take a look at them. Number one is a personal interview with anybody wanting to work with minors in your church, whether they be children or adolescents, to get to know that person. What is the basis for your interest? Where have you worked with minors before? That's number one. Number two is a written application where you elicit some of the same information. Number three is obtaining institutional references on this person.
And that actually can be done by email, so they don't have to actually wait till they get something back.
Or by telephone.
Or by telephone. And just actually record it, have it in the file. Because actually when a case does come about, that's the first question that they're going to ask is, did you do this?
Yes. And by the way, you don't want to do references from individuals. You start with the institutional reference. In fact, this is the gold standard. If this is the best evidence that you're going to be able to obtain as to the fitness of somebody to work with minors in your church. Nothing else compares to this. To a letter from another church or charity or school or scouting or coaching where this person has worked with minors before, to get a letter from a few of these institutions that we know of no reason why this person would not be suitable or fit to work with minors in your church. That is the gold standard. There's nothing better than doing that. Now, that's not the only thing you need to do, but that's number three. Number four is the 6-month rule. You don't use anybody as a volunteer in youth or children's work who has not been a member of your church for 6 months or more. I know people complain about that. Well, that's too long. Well, it's up to you. I mean, you can do whatever you want. We're making recommendations here, but a member is subject to discipline. And 6-month membership gives the church just a better opportunity to evaluate and observe this person and determine assess this person's fitness. And then number five is benchmarking your policies. Benchmarking means compare what you're doing with what other charities in your community are doing. Other churches, scouts, coaching, teaching, but above all, what do the public schools do in your community? Because public schools are an agency of the state. And so for you to align your practices with what the public schools in your community are doing, how can you be negligent? How can you be liable? So that is tremendous advice right there. Number six, a periodic review of your policies by legal counsel. And number seven, adopting a 2-adult policy, prohibiting any minor from being alone with one adult. Now, you can have multiple minors with one adult. As you know, Jerry, I teach a 5th grade Sunday school class. I'm in that room with 10 to 15 students every week, and that doesn't violate the 2-adult rule because I'm never in there with one of them. And number eight, a criminal background check, as we've seen in the case in California involving the soccer leagues. I anticipate there's going to be a flood of these cases now against churches, or this is going to be mentioned as a basis for liability. You didn't do a criminal records check on this perpetrator. So that's number eight. Number nine is prompt reporting of child abuse. If you have reasonable basis to believe abuse has occurred, report it immediately. And number 10, promptly halt high-risk behaviors, such as what? Minors spending the night with an adult youth leader, or going on trips together with an adult youth leader, spending time in the adult leader's home, look out for the grooming behavior, where the adult is trying to groom this minor, and oftentimes the minor's parents or family as well, by lavishing gifts upon them, taking the child on trips. I've seen so many cases of child abuse, Jerry, happening under these circumstances. You need to be aggressive to intervene and to stop this kind of activity.
Rich, thank you for sharing this vital information to help protect our churches. I know that they really need it, and it is of vital importance to them to keep informed on what they need to do to help protect them from being named in a child sexual abuse case.
Yes.
So stay tuned for more Risk Management Live. We're going to be talking about other cutting edge court cases and how it affects you. Thank you very much.